What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name is Michael Roman, aka Allfires. Now, if you're anything like me and you saw the headline on today's video the same way I saw the headline in the news cycle when I woke up this morning, you're probably thinking the same thing. Here we go again, because this has got to be at least the third report of internal and external pre-screenings for Captain America Brave New World, which has led to it being delayed as long as it was in the first place and eventually released next year. And as we've heard recently, it just sounds like more of the same, leading up to today's report from trusted industry insider Daniel RPK that after another bad round of test screenings and reactions, Marvel Studios is now changing Captain America Brave New World again, which I honestly at this point think is a huge mistake, and I'm going to explain why. Look, in the previous videos I reminded you guys not to really buy too much into the test screening reaction talk. Normally when that stuff comes out, it's never really been positive, and that's because of the nature of the news, right? Like if it's positive, hey, people really liked the test screenings, this story seems to get buried. It's only when, hey, the test screenings for this movie said it was an absolute mess, that you start to buy in. And of course, it didn't help that someone took to Reddit and basically spilled the plot of the story and talked crap throughout the entire thing. This is the same we heard basically for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania and the Marvels, and then the Marvels hit Disney Plus, and a ton of people took to Twitter to say, wow, this movie was actually pretty good, because even external test screenings are only a theater full of people or less. I've been in them. I was in the test screening for the first 20 minutes of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. There were 8 people there for the Atlanta test screening. 8 people to give their reaction. So even if it's a theater full, we're talking what, 30-40 people? That is such a small cross section of the population. You could have a theater full of people who don't know anything about Marvel, and to them, this movie could seem completely confusing and out of place, when to a Marvel fan, everything makes sense and they're completely caught up. And you can talk about the intrinsic problems of Marvel being too big and too deep for new fans to on-ramp, and there's a lot of brands that are sort of floating around in the zeitgeist, not just for movies, but in video games. I'm a diehard World of Warcraft player. For a video game that's been around for 20 years, I can't imagine someone new coming to it, and Marvel may be in a place like that now, where only their biggest titles like Deadpool and Wolverine or Spider-Man are going to be able to draw in the lay fan to enjoy it. But what happens is Marvel continues to do this movie by committee, which is one of the main things I was hoping that they left behind with their old guard and the way that they were doing things, because movie to committee is how you get Xochitl Gomez coming out and saying Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness had something like 20 plus rewrites, and it's a miracle that Michael Waldron's story remained as intact as it did. Then you get to movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, where the movie by committee basically homogenized that entire film and watered it down to the point where there wasn't enough film for them to make. That's why there are editing errors with how they had to do the CGI, and huge pieces of dialogue that were edited out that now don't make sense in the third act. Movie by committee, basically art by committee, where you have a ton of people who weren't part of the intrinsic creation of the piece of art giving their feedback and changing it, never usually ends well. And so to hear that Marvel Studios may be changing core elements multiple years into the production of this film, and now basically into the full year of reshoots that they're doing at the current moment, it just feels like logically that's not heading towards a better version of this film. Rather, more likely the case, we are now headed for a absolute mess of a film that has several different parts all stitched together, a lot like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. You guys know I defended Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania when it came out. I actually really liked it. I thought, again, the editing errors are what they are, but you know, Marvel didn't have to nail that movie. It turns out they did. Because of the mistakes to Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, they pivoted off Kang the Conqueror. It's been widely reported, and even before Jonathan Majors got into legal trouble. So they basically pinned how they ruined the movie with movie by committee on Jonathan Majors as not being likable or a box office draw. So there are major consequences for them not allowing the art that's originally made to be made. And this is where we get to one of the problems. The symptom is just the movie by committee. They should not be listening to small cross sections of external pre-screeners without any context for what's going on with that person and their relation to Marvel, because Marvel has just become too big, so it is so easy to bash that there are a lot of people who have no connection to the brand and would just say, well, I didn't like it anyway. Plus, if you have any ounce of contrarian in you, when something gets as big as Marvel Studios has gotten, well, the haters just look up and hate on the thing that they can see. Again, right now that's Marvel Studios. Rather, they need to make sure that the project itself is good from the get-go, which is what they did with Blade, which is why that movie never made it to filming, because the script itself starting the project wasn't in the right place. Who knows what happened with Captain America Brave New World? Who knows how much they're going to change at this point? Who knows how much of that plot leak that one disgruntled test screener put on Reddit is actually true? But what we do know is the more changes they keep making in this movie by committee, test screening reaction world, the better chance they have of messing this movie up, because it'll just be... the better chance I think they have of screwing this movie up because it'll just be a mess. All of that said, I thought the last trailer for this movie looked amazing. The texture and the grain they added to the film to give it a 70s sort of spy throwback espionage feel was great, and I am super hyped for what we saw as maybe probably part of the third act with Red Hulk. I don't know how much changing this movie needs. If it doesn't have it, it doesn't have it. That's cool. Finish the movie and keep it rolling. But don't keep making changes to a script this late in the game after the movie has been basically shot for over a year. It was finished and wrapped on filming last year. Don't do this, because this is how you end up with something like Quantumania that, if it had just been cohesively edited, would have been a lot better of a film. The only thing holding it back was the whole movie by committee MO, which apparently maybe Marvel hasn't left behind. But you guys let me know all your thoughts down below. If you disagree with any of this, I feel you, no worries. If you agree with me, well, then let's keep our fingers crossed that Captain America Brave New World, when it finds itself finally released in theaters, is a cohesive piece of work, and that's not what holds it back. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Okay, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel, and we're still going to do that until the PlayStation 5 Pro comes out, then we'll switch over. We just gave one away for the finale of Agatha All Along, and we have another one coming up for the finale of What If, which goes live next season. Next year is actually going to be a banger, because we give one away with every Marvel release, and next year there's at least 6 or 7 of them. If you want to be entered to win, or for any of the other giveaways we do, say through the holiday season, all the same rules will always apply. It's super simple. All you got to do is be a subscriber, so hit the sub button, then leave a comment down below. Because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will always be announced at the end of videos in the same segment we're doing here, live with my voice, and a winning comment when there is one shown on screen. So please be safe and vigilant on YouTube, really any platform. If you should get a comment from an obvious spammer using some content creator's photo trying to claim that you've won a prize, but then wants your information on third-party app, never ever give them your information. That is so unsafe. It's just a ruse. They're all just trying to get you to pay for shipping for a prize that doesn't exist. Keep in mind, no content creator, myself included, will ever charge you for shipping if you should win something. That's kind of part of the deal. It'd be hilarious if we did that. We would never do that, so please be safe and vigilant if you should get a spam comment like that. And unfortunately, they're still all over the platform, even though they've left my channel alone for a while. If you should get a comment like that, simply report it directly to YouTube. I guarantee you that the content creator, the YouTuber, already knows, and by reporting it to YouTube, they will delete it even faster, and the account. So not only has the comment gone from the page and you're helping that content creator out, but everywhere they've commented across YouTube will also now be gone. You're really just doing the entire YouTube community a service. The best way to keep up with the content at the channel has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name is Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at I'mFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes under the name AllFires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking out my music, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.